Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Welcome back to Big Mouth. Continue the conversation going with me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. We're here to discuss Manchester United, the football team I support. We are in a lot of trouble, and if you can't see the fact that Manchester United Football Club are in a lot of trouble, then you must be a dumb, deaf and blind. It is very apparent to me that we are in so much trouble. Now, I just finished watching Mark Goldbridge's press conference reaction on the United stand, and the stuff that he reiterated that Solskjaer said it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I love Mark's reaction. Mark was absolutely spot on, as he always is. And all I can do really is just re-air what he said. But I had to come on here because I'm pretty angry. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a substandard manager who doesn't even have the CV or experience to be managing Manchester United, and he's only managing our club because he's an ex-legend who they thought we would never turn on. Of course we're going to turn on him. We've started, haven't we? His tactics are negative. He picks the wrong teams. He picks injured players. He picks Pogba and re-injures him. He made the players run too much or work too hard in pre-season and made their bodies and their bones and their organs weaker. And this is where we are now. But not only that, he sold players without replacing them. Now, is that the club's decision or is that his decision? I don't know. I don't know how much of this club he's running. Is he picking the teams? I would like to think so, or actually, I would like to not think so. Then a journalist asked him, how do you feel about fans' reactions to you? He goes, well, on match day, the fans are very nice to me, but you don't know what people say when they're not in front of your face. There's lots of people hiding on social media. We are hiding on social media. Ollie, 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 Ollie. My name is Mick Menas. I live in Liferonda, Cyprus. I'm in Ayia Napa every single night with my entourage from 2 a.m. in various clubs, in various bars. Come and sit here by my pool. I'll make you a lovely margarita, a frappe or whatever you want, and we will discuss the Manchester United problem. Nobody's hiding. Nobody's hiding, Ollie. You are playing the wrong team. You cannot manage this club. You are not capable. You keep on telling me and the rest of the fans that there's this long game, this fantasy of being patient, of developing the club. What is it, Ollie? What is it? And as Mark quite rightly keeps on saying, what is your present day plan? Where do you want us to finish this year? Ultimately, a United fan would say top of the Premier League. Well, that isn't going to happen, is it? Are we going for fourth? Do we want to win the Europa League so we can get into the Champions League without trying to get into the top four? Because that looks like now a near impossibility. And in comes Arsenal. Now, it's interesting because I love Mark Goldbridge. I love watching his stuff. He's hilarious. He says a lot of good things. But he's very dismissive of Arsenal because he has a lot of Arsenal haters. And he's obviously trying to goad them constantly. But the truth is, Mark, we have absolutely no chance of beating Arsenal. Now, I don't know what their away record is. Apparently, it's quite rubbish. Guess what, Mark? Our away record's pretty rubbish as well. And the point is that they have a better attack than us. They have got more goal power than us. They can't defend. But the thing is, we can't attack. So they're going to do quite well. This could be a very embarrassing game for Manchester United Football Club. Now, Ed Woodward earlier this week spoke about not looking at short-term distractions. In other words, pressure to sack the manager. Well, Ed, you're going to have to sack the manager eventually because he's going to keep on drawing and losing. He may win one game in a blue moon. But the point is, our form is relegation form. It has been since just before you made him permanent, by the way. You made him permanent on that schedule because he started losing games and the football wasn't so good. So you thought you'd cover that up by appointing him as the permanent manager. I was fine with him being the temporary manager because there weren't many options out there. But the point is, this guy shouldn't be our manager. Now, Ed Woodward and the Manchester United board and the Glazers are running this club into the ground. But that situation can be deflected on the pitch. We know what management is, and we know that good managers, great managers, can run successful teams on a little budget. Joe Kinnear, Martin O'Neill at Leicester, Brendan Rodgers now at Leicester, right? Frankie Lampard himself, he hasn't brought any players in. He's making do with what he's got, mostly youngsters. And he's doing it because he has a tactical mind, a football brain, and he knows what he's doing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a great forward, and we love him for that. He loves the club. We respect him for that. But Ole, you shouldn't be our manager. But you're beginning to make yourself into a Jose Mourinho. Let me say it again. You're beginning to make yourself into a Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal and David Moyes in what you're saying, because as Jose Mourinho started to attack the fans, you're doing it too, saying we're hiding on the internet. Every fan that goes to that stadium, don't worry, goes back to the internet, right, and talks about your performance as a manager. You had 3 very good months, which I personally believe you'd had nothing to do with the tactics or the team selection. Somebody else was doing it to make you look good, to dupe us into being okay with you being the permanent manager. And you do a press conference today and you accuse us of hiding. We're not hiding. We're not hiding, Ollie. We are so fed up of what's going on with our club. Most of us don't demand Premier Leagues every year, or FA Cups, or League Cups, or Europa Cups, or Champions Leagues. What we would like, I think, while this rebuild is happening, maybe to finish 5th, 6th, or 7th at least, and maybe play some good football, and organise and pick the right team. That's all we want for now. Now, if you're playing great football and we finish with 5th, if we're flirting with 5th, 6th, or 7th, that's fine, Ollie. But that's not what's going on here, my friend. What's going on here is you can't organise a football team. You can't set good tactics, right? You're playing negative. You're playing players that are too slow, but they've got seniority, so you're intimidated by them, and you say you're all for the kids, but you're not. You're not. You play them in meaningless games like the League Cup, right? You're taking risks. At the end of the day, Ollie, the fans have every right to speak out against you. And people saying, what about these people saying Ollie out? We're saying Ollie out because he's a substandard manager and he shouldn't be our manager. We still respect what the lad did for the club. That's nothing to do with it. But don't expect the real people who love this club are speaking out. We understand what's going on upstairs. We know it's terrible, but we can't do nothing about Woodward. He has employed bad managers. No, let me rephrase that. He hasn't employed bad managers. He's employed 3 managers with reputations and 1 manager without any reputation. He relegated Cardiff. He's done okay at Mulder, but that's Mulder. And to say, well, yeah, but he still had to put that team together and they haven't won it for years. It doesn't matter. Mulder isn't Manchester United. Manchester United is in the doldrums. We had a great legendary manager. He didn't plan for the club or team's future. All he cared about was polishing off his legacy. Then he moved on. Now, I respect him, but that's the truth. It's his fault the Glazers are actually running this club with his selfishness. We all know the backstory. I've explained it to you a billion times, right? But for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to say the fans are hiding, we're not hiding anywhere, son. You're the one that's hiding behind the press conference with some nice little journalists who are so nice to you, you allow them to talk to you. And before I finish, Ollie, what about that interview you had with Jeff Stelling and the lads on Soccer Saturday last week, yeah? Where they were just asking you easy peasy questions, all part of the spin. Did they pay you? Did you pay them to make sure they kept the questioning online? We are being duped. You are selling us an illusion of a rebuild. And as I say, if we were playing great football, and let's be clear, Ollie, you don't need world-class players to play great football. You can do it with ordinary teams. I've seen it. I've seen Harry Redknapp at West Ham have no bloody money and play amazing total football. Amazing. It isn't about money and players. But guess what? You've got Paul Pogba. You've got Anthony Martial. You've got Marcus Rashford. You've got other players that can play great football, world-class players. And you're not using them properly. That's the thing. It doesn't take money to play good football. It doesn't take money to get results. It takes organisation, tactical nous. And you don't have these things. You are playing out of fear. Mark's right. You're playing negative defensive football because you're too scared to lose. And I'm sick to death of it, right? I know what's going on top of this club. I do not demand trophies or fourth and thirds right now. If you're rebuilding this club, good luck to you. I respect you for that. And all we ask for is good football, some entertainment, and stop making excuses. Your injuries are not excuses. The injuries are your fault for overworking this team in pre-season. We are going to lose on Monday, make no mistake, and we're going to lose badly. And if we lose bad enough, he's going to get the sack. For me, personally, there's only one man who can do the job that Ed Woodward wants, which is a cheap and cheerful job. That's why Ollie's here. Ollie was brought here for PR, for good PR, and to do a cheap and cheerful job. He's probably costing the club 3/4 less than Mourinho and LVG and Moyes cost, right? That's why he's here. You want a cheap and cheerful manager who won't demand big 50, 60 million transfer fees and can buy really good young players and develop them into world-class players? Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger hasn't got a job right now. He's an Arsenal manager, yes, and he didn't finish on great form as a manager at the end of his career, but he can do a job. He can guarantee us top four, like he used to mostly guarantee Arsenal of top four without having great seasons. He's old, he's experienced, he's been there, he's done that. He can hold this club together while we've got to put up with these Glazers and this man Woodward. And hopefully we can see them out. But I think Wenger would be perfect. You're going to be shouting right now, you're going to be shouting at this screen saying, you are mad. Wenger, we don't want Wenger. Look, not many managers are going to want to come here, not with a great reputation. I believe many players turned us down in the summer. I think that's an issue as well. I think partly, look, I don't know what happened in the summer. We signed 3 really good players, but it was obvious what we needed as well. We needed a world-class, dominant centre forward. We needed a couple of midfielders, and we didn't get them. We haven't had a really great CDM for years, or an attacking midfielder. We needed those things. Buying 5 or 6 players wasn't a big deal. People say, you can't buy 5 or 6 players. How do you integrate them? It's going to mess up. They won't play well as a team, and it will tell in the results. Because the results are great now. We lost to Crystal Palace at home. That is unacceptable. And these things are going to keep on happening again and again. And all he's going to do, the manager, is come out and make excuses. We're patient. We're building for the future. Apparently, it doesn't matter about the results. Apparently, Ollie isn't under pressure. What about when we're mid-table? What about when we're flirting with the bottom 6 or 7 or whatever it's going to be, right? Are we then going to be talking about Ollie's credentials as a manager? Or are we still going to be blaming the board? The manager has to take responsibility for team results and team performances. And if he's not going to be here, if he's not going to do that, if he's not going to take responsibility, what's the point of him being our manager? I'm depressed, not because we're not winning trophies, not because we can't finish in the top 3 or 4. I'm depressed because we're playing crap football and the managers can just sit there with his smile and say, well, we're planning for the future. We are not stupid. We are not imbeciles. We're not thick. We know what's going on here. You were taken on because you're cheap. And they thought you could keep on smiling and getting away with it. We want results. We want to see good football. We want to be entertained. And if we have to wait for 4 or 5, 6 years for us to challenge for the top again, that's fine. But the least this club deserves is good, entertaining football. And you can do that. That can be done. It isn't rocket science. As I say, I've seen managers without a budget. I saw Kirbishley at Charlton play half-decent football at times. It can be done. It can be done. So there's no excuses. We saw Moyes' Everton play half-decent football at times. And they nearly were going into bankruptcy. Now, it didn't really happen for him at Manchester United. At the end of the day, right, in the first 6 months of Mourinho and LVG, it was actually pretty all right. But the first 6 months for Ollie is crap already. Where did those first 3 months go? This is why I suspect he didn't do the tactics or pick the team. Where did it go? What happened? Why are we playing crap football? As I say, it isn't about money and who we bought and who we didn't buy. You can play good football. Players know how to pass forward, right? They know how to pass forward. It isn't difficult. It isn't about money. These are excuses. People say if we sack Ollie, where do we go from here? we're still going to have these owners and this chief executive. You're right. We're still going to have those people. We can't get rid of these people for now. They will go. They will sell up and they will go eventually. They will take care of themselves, right? But for now, at least on the pitch, we need sorting out. We need some experience. We need someone to come in with some ideas. And I think Wenger would temporarily be perfect. I know I'm going to be slated by every single person. I've already said that. I think he's the answer. I think he would be perfect for our club. Or at least, if you don't want him here as a manager, bring him in as a director of football or as an advisor. I think we need to get rid of all the ex-pros from this club, all of them. I don't mind Nicky Butt being involved with the kids or whatever he's doing right now. He's a good guy. He's doing a great job. But at the end of the day, all the rest of these ex-pros getting involved, no. It's too emotional. And a lot of people have said this, and I'm just echoing what people have said. It's too emotional and it lacks football knowledge. Something Wenger has got is football knowledge. He could do this. Now, people won't like it, I know. But Manchester United were in a desperate situation. It didn't have to be like this. It didn't, right? And what had to happen was, when Ferguson stepped down, he himself could have become the director of football. Easily. He could have helped whatever manager there to settle in, right? He could have helped with negotiations. And we could have had a manager for the future. And Ferguson could have advised him and helped him. This could have been done properly. Ferguson could have left a better squad for us when he left, but he didn't. Because as I said on the top of the show, he was only interested in polishing his own legacy. He made dreams come true for us. He is the greatest manager of all time. But he isn't blameless in this Manchester United situation.